Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Tim Off coming at you with another review. A game from Curved Digital, Wallaware, and Warm Lamp Games. And this game is Beholder, Complete Edition. Now, this game was given to us actually at the beginning of December, a while ago, and I've had it for some time, been playing it off and on through the holidays and up through now, and also recorded my latest session. And this is what we're watching, is the recording from that. I tried to do a recording with me talking during the game, but I felt like I couldn't concentrate on the game and what I needed to talk about. But essentially, here is two difficulty modes that we can choose from when we start the game. You got the Government Elite mode and the Training mode. And the Government Elite mode essentially is the harder mode. So I went into Training mode. It's a little bit easier and more my speed. But essentially, and as you can see here, I sped up the beginning, but you are a new landlord essentially in this dystopian world where you're taking over from this gentleman's job, or you're taking over his job because he couldn't do what he was supposed to do. And that is spy on the tenants, gather information, and give it to the government. Now, this game kind of gives me a 1984 vibe. It's a book. I forget the author's name, so I apologize. But it was a book I read a long time ago that kind of gives this view of a dystopian world controlled by the government. Now, I kept this load screen in here just to show you some of the things that are told during the load screens. These are things you want to read and keep up on, like this one, members of Carl's family, you gotta help or else they'll die. Now, a quick tip while this is still loading. The son, who's going to college, he's going to ask for a lot of money, and you not giving him his money to go to school will not kill him. So that is one character you don't have to worry about too much. Although he may be disappointed in you. But so this is the beginning of the game, and this is basically giving you a walkthrough what you need to do. You're talking to your new boss, and you have some choices throughout the game that you have to make when you interact with people. And it's basically a choose your own adventure game, and how you act will either impact the game at that very moment or will impact the game later. So in this case, we're basically we're learning how to use the game. There is more tutorial piece, but I skipped it. Essentially, it was just kind of going over some of the things you can already find out later when you call up on the phone and get directions on how to play the game there. Here is basically you learn how to use the menus on the right and the left. Here I'm learning how to use it on the right, learning how to read profiles. The very first tab is actually your tasks. Then the second one is profiles, learning who's who at your apartment building complex. Government directives are things that are issued by the government. That's basically things that are illegal for people to do. Like, for example, later we'll see they can't eat apples. So it's very interesting, especially in this day and age, to see some of these things. Right now I'm using the search feature, which you'll be able to use throughout the whole apartment building, and that's searching through desks, tables, chairs, beds, dressers to get items. In this case, I'm getting the cameras so I can fulfill the tasks that I have. To access the items that you get and collect will be on the left side, and again on the right side you see all the menu items there. So now our boss is telling us, okay, I'm going to teach you how to install these cameras. First place we'll install them is in the kitchen. So here is basically you're installing the cameras where the smoke detectors are, essentially. I guess it's a good spying tactic. So I'm installing them now. And this is basically the same method you would use when you go to install the cameras in the apartments. So in this case, I thought I completed both installations, but I think I exited out of the installation on the first one and by accident. So that's why I was a little confused. Like, wait a minute, I thought I installed the second one, but I didn't. I accidentally exited out the installation, so I have to reinstall again. Camera 2s, as you can see, there's 2 dashes on that camera image. Those are the ones that do a medium width angle on the cameras. There's camera 1s that do a smaller width, and then there's camera 3s that are more expensive to buy that do a much larger coverage of the floor. So again, basically it's this is the shorter part of the tutorial, teaching me how to set up the cameras and know how to collect or complete my tasks. So after my boss leaves, I'll move on to having to make a phone call to find out what my next task will be. And as you can see on the right side menu there, it's blinking that there's something that happened in my task menu. There was an update there. So once I'm done talking to my boss, I'll go there and see what my tasks are or what's been completed, and most likely there'll be another task there. So now my boss is leaving. That's my wife walking by. And you'll want to talk to everybody because you get a lot of good information when you talk to everybody, especially for building a reputation, which you get reputation points for. That's what's in that blue area in the top right corner there. And you can also buy things for reputation, like more cameras. And then you can also sell those cameras to get more money in case you want to use money. And I'll show you that. There'll be somebody you can talk to. As you can see, there's the buy with reputation points for 50, 150, and 350 for each camera. And then you can buy with money different tools to repair things. So you can repair electronics with the $50 soldering gun there. And then there's a toolbox for another $50. Now, one of the tips I've read somewhere is that you can actually earn more money by selling the level 1 cameras. And then when you get more money, then you can start buying other things that you'll need to either blackmail people with or to do other things with the residents. So right now I'm just talking with the different residents, trying to build a reputation, get more points that way. And again, when I get more reputation points, I can buy more cameras and install them in the units and or sell them to get some extra cash. So whenever you see that red like play chess there, when I was talking to that resident, that means I learned or earned a reputation when I talk to them. And right now I'm talking to my family members, talking to my daughter. Now your daughter is one you're going to have to keep on real close, pay attention to her throughout this game. Through this video you won't see much of what's going on with her, but later on you'll have to pay attention to her and make sure she doesn't die on you. In one of my playthroughs earlier, I could not solve the issue that she was running into. She needed some sort of medicine. I couldn't get to it. The doctor I worked with couldn't get to it. It was a illegal medicine because it was foreign medicine. So you got to make moral choices throughout the game in order to help your family, but also you're breaking the law by getting this medicine. So keep an eye on those things. And unfortunately, with that playthrough, I lost my daughter. She died and had a funeral, and everybody in my family is sad. And I still could continue on with the game, but I actually stopped that game because I was so depressed that I lost the daughter in the game. Started over and played again, and when I played the second time, I died. So right away, so I got shot. But anyways. Here, back to what we're doing in the current game, is I'm setting up the camera in this apartment or in this unit. I am searching this person's belongings to build evidence. And I'm still kind of getting used to some of the buttons here, even though this is my third time playing it. I accidentally took that or stole that broken bottle, but I meant to write it down as evidence. So like if I hit the Y button here, I can notate in the person's profile that they like to gamble. So rather than steal it, I can take it or write it down in their profile. Now, what I'm trying to do here is actually plant that broken bottle back into the table. I didn't mean to steal it when I was trying to take it as evidence or mark it down as evidence. But this is also a method you can use by if you find other illegal items, you can plant them in units to blackmail people and earn money that way. Because you'll need money to buy medicine and things like that, and kind of go back and it kind of goes back to what I was talking about with my daughter. So something to keep in mind. I would highly suggest you go out and learn some of the tips if you want to get the most out of this game, or at least play through a couple times to get an idea of what it's like to play this game without any of those tips. Right now I'm fast forwarding through this part of the game, but figured that we talk a little bit more about what's in this game or some of the other details. So as you can see, this is a one-player person game only, and like I said, it was released back in December. It is $14.99 in the US, and it is, if I remember correctly, $11.99 in the UK. It is T for teen or PEGI 12 rating, and it can be, of course, played in either handheld mode, tabletop mode, TV mode, and it does have the ability to save data in the cloud. One of the things I wanted to mention here is I'm talking to the merchant right now, and I just bought a blue tie and a chocolate bar. Those are things. The blue tie, I believe, becomes illegal later on. The color blue is illegal to use. And I did sell some of the cameras I had to the merchant so that I could, or actually I'm going to, it looks like. I'm actually purchasing some more here with my reputation points, and then going to catch up with the merchant right now before he leaves. Caught him just in time, so that I can earn some money by selling off some of those cameras. I bought each camera for $50 and selling them for $150 each, so it's good money there. I kept a few so I could put them and install them into some of these apartments, like what you're going to see here. On this floor, this unit, I'm installing two, and then I'll do some searching of some of the areas here to get some evidence on my tenants. At the same time, I'm trying to keep an eye on when they're going to come home, because I don't want to get caught going through their stuff. Before I forget, or before we move on, I just want to let you know the download size is under 2 gigs for this game, so pretty small if you're using a memory card or an SD card, or could be potentially large if you're not. So one of the things too to keep in mind, why you have cameras in here, is you're keeping an eye on illegal things that are happening. So if you do see something that's illegal, you can report it, or catch it and mark it down so you can use it later in a report, and I'll show you that in a minute. Right now I'm just kind of peeking and seeing what's going on in these conversations to see if I can catch anybody, especially the person I need to talk to here, or I need to report on here. But right now drug use is not illegal, so it's not flashing for me to catch him doing something he's not supposed to. So, but what I do have to do is report him eventually, and that's why I sped this up, because I'm kind of just going through everything. I don't have a time limit, as you can see up there in the upper left side where it says crime and punishment. Before I found out what was going on and reported it, I had 42 hours, I think, elapsed time to figure out what to do or get these tasks done. Once I've completed the task and now it's waiting for me to report it, the time went away. So I'm just kind of setting things up right now while I have the time, and taking care of business while I can before the timer comes back on, which you have to get the task done before each of those timers are done. So right now I'm just waiting for the people in the second floor in this unit to leave so I can plant some more cameras and do some more spying and also do some more searching. So in this particular case, I was probably goofing around a little too much, not moving fast enough, but because the tenants were coming home pretty quickly. But I did find some evidence to build a profile. So, and then I'm also finding these other items that potentially I'm guessing I could steal later. But I'm trying not to steal anything right now because it does affect you and your reputation points. And you could get arrested if you steal too much. So now I'm coming to the point to where I am going to go into the office and do some of the reporting. Let me see. I think I zoom in on this too so we can see me in the office here. All right. So right now I'm just kind of searching my desk first to see what I have in there because I haven't done that since we got the cameras. And I have these eyeglasses, which I think I take those because you never know. There might be a situation where I'll need those. And then I'm going to make my call to call the ministry like my task says. Or at least, okay, I thought at this point I was like, maybe I should do a couple other things, and then I changed my mind and went back. Okay, never mind, I'm going to go back and make that call and get this done. Like I said, I was just trying to make sure I did everything I could possibly do before moving on to the next tasks that are timed. So I've completed the first task. I get some money and reputation points, and now they're telling me we need you to find something that he's doing illegally and catch him in the act, essentially. And then I need to then report it. All right, now I got my report, or my money and my reputation points, and now let's speed things up. Make it a little bit faster to get through some of the things I was doing so you can see what happens when I catch the tenant doing something illegal. So right now they're sleeping, so another reason why I was fast forwarding this kind of. You can either take this time to, catch up on some of your information, or go to the shop, buy some things, or sell some things. Well, actually just buy here in this case. Kind of take care of some of the things while you're waiting for the next move. And here it looks like the tenant is up. I'm trying to figure out, okay, he's not in the camera view. What's he gonna do? Oh, drugs are illegal now, so he didn't get into the camera range, but I caught him while peeking through the peephole in his door. So yes, that's the kind of person I am right now in this game. So I did catch him, and also it looks like there's something in the mailbox to read from that exclamation point. And this you'll get the government's news, and then also somebody's been sticking some propaganda, or not propaganda, but some other information on the backside. That's what that paperclip means. So the voice of truth has attached some other notes to kind of go along with the government's version of the article with the real world version of the article. So very interesting stuff. Very interesting story. So here, depending on how you like to play, and again, here's that again in the upper left corner there, you see crime and punishment 40 hours. That's your time limit to get your actions done. I gathered evidence. Now I need to report Jacob, which is going back to my desk. For this case, you're not actually making a phone call, but you're going to go back to the desk and fill out a report. So kind of doing that right now. I think I zoom in again. Maybe not. All right, so I'm getting ready to go to my desk, fill out the report, write a report. You can also profile a tenant, and then there's the blackmail letter down at the below, which I haven't done yet. But again, it's another way to make money. So here I am, I'm reporting the tenant of the illegal stuff they're doing. And because I'm reporting them, that's when the police come and take care of business. Now, it does get a little bit graphic, like I said, as teen for teen. So depending on if you have kids in the room, younger, then you may not be comfortable with the police coming in. Because what they do is they come in there, find the tenant, and beat him up. And so I blacked that out, as you can see, and then they make them leave the area. So just in case you had kids in the area. But if you're playing the game, keep that in mind. There is police brutality, and they do show a little bit of the red to show blood when they beat him up at first. But after doing your job, you get more money and more reputation points, and then move on to the next tasks, which in this case is repairing the unit and finding a new tenant to move in. So in this case, I'm looking at a doctor or a sailor, and the sailor is only going to rent for I think 2 weeks or something like that, and then the doctor stays in there for the most part permanently. So I got the doctor to come in this time, and then his story will begin. That is Beholder, the complete edition in a nutshell. And I would say this is fun in small doses for me, but if you're good with the dark themes, then you may have a lot more fun with this in a lot more bigger chunks. I will come back to this and play it because I am having some fun with it, but I can only take it in small doses because of the dark themes. I like to have some happier content sometimes, so I'll probably play this in between some other games. But I'm not knocking it. I certainly do suggest it if you are in these type of games, management type of games. And for $14.99 or $11.99, depending on where you are, or if it's $14.99 across the board, by all means, give it a go. And if you have any questions, you can find me on Twitter at NeoPrime33, or through the Nintendo Dads on Twitter, or through this video in the comments. I'll try to keep an eye on any questions, or I'm sure one of the Nintendo Dads will let me know. Thank you for taking the time to watch this. This is Tim, signing off. Check you later.